You are listening to Banter tracks.
It's time to spin round the rim. This is Desert Planet Discs. Star Wars music in a single file. Here are your hosts, Carl Bayless and Greg Robertson.
Following live broadcast is recommended by the Imperial Council in the belief that your commitment to remain upstanding citizens will be reinforced. It is required viewing for all members of the Imperial forces.
Time now for
Desert Planet Discs,
brought to viewers everywhere in the hope that our own lives may be uplifted by the comparison and enriched with the gratitude of relief. This transmission is unrehearsed and unedited, and is hereby begun without further comment as to its lack of moral value.
I've been in this fight since I was 6 years old. Never took too kind to people I don't know. And now I'm far away from worlds that I call home. And I realize that I am not in this fight alone. We all have our own rebellion. We're all fighting for our own reasons. When times are tough, we don't give up till the war is won. 'Cause we all have our own rebellion. When the axe forgets the tree, remembers every cut it made. Do you still believe? Are you still in all the way? And should you ever doubt the path that has been laid, just do your best to keep the faith and fight another day. We all have our own rebellion. We're all fighting for our own reasons. When times are tough, we don't give up till the war is won. 'Cause we all have our own rebellion. We are rebels, we rebel. You will see, time will tell. We are rebels, hear us yell. We all have our own rebellion. We're all fighting for our own reasons. When times are tough, we don't give up till the war is won. 'Cause we all have our own rebellion. We all have our own
Hot dang, Happy New Year, everyone. Welcome to Desert Planet Discs, track 26. Hope you've all had a good Crimbo, a good Kwanzaa, a good Hanukkah, whatever you celebrate. I hope you've had a good one. Life Day when that happened. You know, all the good things. We're in 2023. Who can believe it? Kicking off the show this week was Royish Good Looks with Rebellion. But before we delve into things too much, be remiss of me to not introduce my partner in crime on, Crime Watch, Carl Mooncat Drums. How you doing, sir?
I'm good, thank you. And yourself?
All good. As I said, there was Royish Good Looks kicking off the show Rebellion, the immensely talented gentleman. You can catch that on YouTube and on bandcamp.com. So go and download it. Go and throw some pennies at Mr. Royish Good Looks and get yourself a copy of Rebellion from Bandcamp. How was your Christmas, sir?
Busy as ever. Really good. A few days sort of off work. Normally I try and sort of take a bit of an extended holiday over Christmas, but this year with various other things happening just before Christmas, which we will come on to, I hadn't got enough leave left from work, so it was just the sort of the statutory holidays, and then back in for a few days, and then New Year. But all good. Lots of goodies arrived. Some as presents, some as presents to myself. And in the sales. So, yeah, we'll talk about those a little bit later, I think. How about yourself? Good Christmas?
Yeah, good Christmas. Nice, quiet one at home with the family. New Year, much the same, just a quiet one at home. Just chilling out, doors locked, having a few drinks at home, waiting for 2023 to begin. And 2023 is going to be a bumper year for Star Wars content and Star Wars parties and Star Wars fun in general.
Celebration year.
And back in home turf, back in the UK for us, us Brits. So that's very exciting. Only a few months away as we record this. This is obviously January episode has come, and April fast approaching.
In fact, I've seen, I think it's the guys over at Boonta Eve, more of that later. I've got a countdown, and it's only something like 74 or 75 days or something now till celebration starts.
Oof.
So,
long.
Yeah, not long at all. Perhaps we have to start planning some stuff.
yes. Let's get some planning on the go. So, speaking of 2023, so there's lots of new TV on the horizon this year. Obviously, kicking off with Bad Batch. So we're now, as we record this, 4 episodes down, with the last one, Faster, debuting a few days ago. How are you finding Season 2 so far?
As ever with this section of the animated output, really enjoyed it. It's great storytelling as ever. This week's episode kind of took us a little bit out of the clone and Rise of the Empire sort of storyline a little bit to basically give us a bit of a pod race.
Yeah, I guess people would maybe say this episode would be what they would call filler episodes, but it did kind of plant a little bit of a seed that maybe Sid isn't all she's cracked up to be. She might double cross the batch at some point. I'll get it plant as a seed. Sorry, spoilers. I should if you haven't watched the episode. But the episode before that was it Solitary Clone? I think it was called. Was one of the best episodes of Bad Batch, maybe up there with one of the best episodes of Clone Wars as well. I thought it was a fantastic episode.
Although I do think they missed an opportunity with it being so close to Christmas. Couldn't it have been called Clone Alone?
Yeah, it could have been Clone Alone, indeed. Yeah, that would have been Clone Alone 2 Lost in whatever planet it was. Yeah, no, I think that was one of the best episodes of Clone Wars / Bad Batch we've had in general. I thought it was fantastic. And yeah, shows off to a great start. The animation, as always, fantastic. Episode 4 Faster was a fun episode. It felt a bit of a shame that the story was ticking along really well, and it kind of veered off to the side a wee bit, I felt, for that one, but nothing wrong with the episode. Great episode as well. It was cool to see Tech piloting like a pod race type thing. Yeah, maybe a little bit more dangerous than a pod race because you've got blasters and stuff going off. But that was cool. Good episode. And Bad Batch, like all 4 episodes so far, great. Looking forward to seeing more. Yeah. And also in 2023, just around the corner, obviously this week, just past, we've had a new trailer for Season 3 of Mandalorian. Coming out on the 1st of March, which I'm redubbing Mando First.
Mando First.
First of Mando. Yeah. That's because of M. Like Mando.
Yeah.
Mando First. Another outstanding trailer. What do you think of the trailer for that?
Yeah. Again, I think from the stories we've heard and what we've seen in the previous teasers and trailers, we're going to get this Return to Mandalore story. There's obviously a lot of speculation as to where Bo-Katan is. Is she on Mandalore? Is she on? I can't think of the other planet's name. It was featured in Clone Wars and had very similar sort of buildings with the very high windows and rained a lot.
Right.
Manchester, I think it's called.
Manchester.
Sorry to any listeners in Manchester.
Mandochester,
indeed. So it's got all the elements that we've come to know and love from Mando, and It's going to be a wild ride when it gets here. But of course, we'll have, if it's dropping on a Wednesday, we should have an episode drop before Celebration and then an episode drop after Celebration. So it'd be interesting to see whether they do some sort of sneak peek, because we'll only be 3-4 weeks in.
Yeah, we'll be
by the time Celebration hits. So it's not like they can.
I think we'll have 5 episodes, because there'll be a 5th one the day before.
Yeah.
Oh no, 2 days before. 'Cause
2 days before Celebration.
I keep thinking it kicks off on the Friday, on the Thursday, but it's no, it's just that's when we kick off our fun.
They can't even really do the last episode or the last 2 episodes as a feature presentation, because we're getting 8 episodes, are we? Did I read
usually
somewhere?
8, isn't it? Yeah, I think it'll probably be 8.
So you'd have 3 episodes, which if they weigh in at the sort of time that some of them have been weighing in at, sort of 40-50 minute mark, then to run 3 of those puts you up sort of near the 2 hour mark.
Yeah,
which is possibly a little bit too extended for a feature presentation at Celebration, but who knows?
Who knows, indeed. I know, and obviously the trailer as well. Lots of Mando, sort of what we believe is Mandalore, but Babu Frick species, the what are they called again? And Zelen. 2 of those in the trailer.
Hey,
Kawakian monkey lizards. I mean, it was
yeah,
it's looking good. And in the background, one of the scenes you see like some looks like band members as well on the stairs when Mando's speaking to Grief Karga. So holding some instruments. It's like,
I hadn't spotted that. Yeah, it's festival.
Yeah.
Festival.
Yeah. So, obviously we've got Mando, but I think we've also got Ahsoka coming out in August, I believe, haven't we?
That's. I'm presuming that will be one of the big features of Celebration. Is obviously a panel, and again we might get a sneak peek of that, or a trailer at the very least, a sizzle reel sort of thing, and then probably a concrete announcement of release dates and stuff then.
Yeah, I think we've also got Skeleton Crew that's coming out this year.
Skeleton Crew's due this year as well, yeah, and flipping back to animation. Visions, yeah. So, busy old year.
Spoilt in 2023.
Indeed. And not only are we being spoilt, but you, our lovely listeners, will also be spoiled this year with Banter Tracks content. Upcoming on 7th of February is the podcast day for 2023, Star Wars Podcast Day. Regular listeners will know we did a special episodette last year, and glad to say that Daniel and the crew over at the Star Wars Podcast Facebook group doing the event again. I read this morning, in fact, that I think nearly 80 podcasts now have signed up to be part of the day and put out special shows or put out their episodes to coincide with Star Wars Podcast Day 2023. So watch out for not only us, but a few of the other Banter Tracks shows. I know Making Tracks, Planet Leia, and I can't remember who else has signed up. It was very remiss of me not to write it all down. But Start
Your Engines?
It might be a Start Your Engines special, yeah.
Okay.
So, watch out for those on or around Feb the 7th. And I say, while you're at it, there will be lots and lots of shows coming out. I say, 80 signed up so far. So why not dip into some of the other great podcasts that are out there, and maybe find a new favourite. Obviously, not as much of a favourite as ours. But
second favourite.
Second. Yeah.
Come on.
There we go. And of course, as we've mentioned several times already, we've got the elephant in the room, or the Max Rebo
Banter
of Star Wars Celebration coming to London in April. So it's on home turf, so we should have a large contingent there of UK-based Fanthers. So again, we haven't quite sorted out our final plans for what we'll be doing and who will be there doing what, but rest assured, stay tuned to both us and the website, and you'll find out what's going on maybe before we do.
Yes, indeed. Hopefully not. Hopefully we'll find out soon.
So you can't fail to miss us most of the times in the shirt. So
and keep come and see us. We'll have some form of swag on us. Certainly, I almost certainly will with my multiple hats. Definitely have some Darth Elvis swag with me, including some leftovers from Celebration Anaheim.
Stop us and get a full set of Darth Elvis trading cards.
Oh, not a full set. Missing one day now. We've ran out of. I'm pretty sure the Leia eared Darth Elvis cards.
In which case, stop me and get some of the very, very last full sets, because I think I've got about 6 full sets.
Oh, wow. Well, there you go.
So there you go, folks.
Kicking off Celebration, we have an event we attended in Celebration Anaheim. Boonta Eve, run by the Virtual Cantina Network. Chaps and chapettes. And if you join their Star Wars Celebration Facebook group, you can find out a lot more about it. But myself and Carl, had a catch-up with Spencer Jawitz earlier this month to find out what's in store, the history of Boonta Eve, and the Virtual Cantina Network. So shall we have a listen to that, Carl?
Yes. Joining us this evening, we have Spencer Jawitz from the Virtual Cantina online network, and also the brains and motivation behind the excellent Boonta Eve events, which, if you rewind to our Celebration Roundup episode, you will hear Greig and myself talk wonderfully about the event in Anaheim earlier this year. And we're really, really, really pleased and excited to say that the event will be landing in London ahead of Celebration London in April. Thursday, the 6th of April, 2023, the event will be landing at the Breakfast Club in Canary Wharf from 3 p.m. till 11 p.m. And no doubt dragging on later after everybody has their full of day's entertainment, unless anybody wants to go and get some beauty sleep before Celebration itself. But welcome to the show, Spencer.
Gentlemen, it's an honor and a pleasure. Thank you very much for having me today.
Our pleasure, sir.
Yes, indeed. For people who don't really know that much about Boonta, and I would count myself, although I've been to one of the events, I didn't really know much about it beforehand. So tell us a little bit about your background and how you came to start the Boonta Eve events up. So
my entire life I've been involved in performance arts and theatrical arts and event planning in various capacities. So I'm always loving doing get-togethers in general. Back in 2016, I watched Star Wars Celebration on YouTube from my office while I was working from London in my cubicle. Oh yeah, I'm working. Lower the tab, watching YouTube, earphones in. And I was like, there's no way in hell I'm not going to go to Celebration in Orlando 2017. 40th anniversary, New Hope, yada, yada, yada. So I had joined the small little Star Wars Celebration fan group because I have high anxiety myself, so I research things to 9th degree. I was listening to podcasts, I was reading articles about Celebration, how to put together your best schedule for Celebration. That's how I actually became friends with Gary O'Toole from Blob of the Hut, just because I listened to his podcast, and then we became friends on Facebook, and he was giving me a lot of insight. Anyway, I was a member of this Star Wars Celebration group, which just started. There's probably about less than 2,000 members in the group at the time. And I just put out a notice like, hey, I'm going to go to City Walk in Orlando to Rising Star Karaoke, which is a live band karaoke place in the center of Orlando City Walk. And a lot of people are like, yeah, let's go. And I figured, that great. I'll get to meet some people. It'd be cool, whatever. So a couple of weeks later, one of the admins at the time reached out to me and said, hey, we're looking to do a meet and greet. would you mind if we tacked on to your event? It's perfect for it. And I said to him, yeah, I have no problem doing that, but I've already started work on this, so if you want to tack on, you're making me an admin of the group. Plain and simple. I'm not going to, put my name on something and I'm not going to get anything for it. It's just nature of the beast. I don't think anybody would. So we had our first event and we actually called it Forcella. And all it was is that we had an area roped off for us. And that was it. It was basically, we were able to do live band karaoke. We did one song a piece. That was all we were allowed. We had specialty drinks, and that was it. And about 65 to 100 people came, because we were also up against the overnight for 40th anniversary panel back in Orlando. So we drew what we were going to draw because people were lining up. Completely understandable. So when Chicago came up, we decided that, okay, we're going to go a step bigger, and we went to Brando's Speakeasy in Chicago, which was a little hole-in-the-wall speakeasy. If you got a speakeasy bar, it was a great idea for, Chicago, for an event. It's a location. We had the first Alderaan Idol there. Idol was judged actually by Kevin Thompson, along with Frank Rich from Star Wars Autograph News. And Kevin did an autograph session at Forcella 2, which we call the Electric Boogaloo, because anything 2 needs to be the Electric Boogaloo. If you're a child, you know that it just has to happen.
I'm with you on that all the time.
100%.
Yeah. So we had, I think we had a capacity of 200, and we had standing room, people, lining up outside to get in. Great night. And Idol was fantastic. And in the midst of everything, COVID, everything that happened as we were planning Forcella 3, we ended up doing a virtual Forcella for the Skywalking Through Neverland crew, where we had a bunch of our singers that did Forcella come back, including our good friend the Vandalorian, live and do live karaoke online as part of the event. So we're getting ready for Anaheim. It gets pushed back. I get cease and desist. Not from Lucasfilm, from Coachella.
Oh.
Turns out they own the contraction Shella when it has to do with any event. And I'm like, I'm not doing a 3-day festival with a holographic Tupac. A karaoke event. Are you serious, bro?
Yeah.
Unreal. You've made it when the big boys come in.
Yeah.
My father's a lawyer, and he was like, well, first off, you're nobody until you get cease and desist, so high five.
Yeah.
2, really, Coachella, not Lucasfilm? I'm like,
yeah.
I'm not gonna knock on wood that never happens, but I don't think it will at this point. But who knows? So I spoke to another lawyer, a member of our group, and we just opted at the end of the day that we were going to just drop the name. It was not worth it at the end of the day. It was going to cost us way too much money to fight Coachella. So we talked within the virtual Cantina group and came up with the idea of Boonta Eve. Fits right in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It ties right into Star Wars. We were going into the 20th anniversary of we just passed the 20th anniversary of Phantom Menace. Tying the whole shebang, perfect. Boonta Eve, great, fantastic. So we set up with Anaheim and found this great place, Big's Bar and Grill in Fullerton, which is about a 10-minute drive from the Anaheim Convention Center. And we're always looking at ways to make it bigger and better. So we did some meet and greets, including the first U.S. signing of Samantha Aline, which was fantastic.
Sounds great, yeah.
Will be known as Sam's first U.S. signing. Had, Leilani and Ariel Shu from The Mandalorian and Book of Boba Fett, Dominic Pace, Eric Walker. We also had Craig Miller signing some of his books, Tim Donaldson, and the Skywalking Through Neverland crew as well. Then we also did open karaoke. We had TV screens around the bar, and we had the commercials for when we were kids and clips from the movies. We had that up on all the screens, so it's very much immersive. Did Alderaan Idol which was a great karaoke competition, which Kevin Thompson hosted with Leilani, Dominic, Eric Walker, and Missy Rosas showed up as a surprise to be a judge for Idol. And we even had Chris Bartlett show up as a surprise for the guests as well. It was a great event. I would say probably we had about 500 rolling people showing in throughout the entire day, which was great. Fantastic. And, Greg went up and sang, so, we appreciated that. Absolutely. I mean, you can't have the Dark King of the Sith, in the building and not perform. So I appreciate that, mate. But you guys saw, it was such a fantastic event that when London was announced, I turned to my partners and said, there's no way in hell we cannot be in London in some capacity. Might not be a full Boonta, but we need to do something because we need to keep the ball rolling going into Celebration, because if we skip a year, all the work that we did, it might fall apart in some capacity. And we are currently, the Virtual Cantina is the world's largest Star Wars Celebration fan group, just shy of 45,000 members worldwide. We needed to make another statement. And the statement is that we're going to London. And oh boy, we're going to London in a big way.
Yeah. I've just noticed, obviously this won't work in audio. Your background at the moment is the superb Zuvio edit of the Celebration key art. So, yes, very, very, very close to our heart, old Constable Zuvio.
Good old Zuvio.
Yes. Yeah.
You're listening to Banter Tracks. Flip through the galaxy of literature with Cannon Fodder hosts Ryan Cameron, Matt Booker, Mark Newbold, and Mark Mulcaster.
Count me in.
Spin round the rim with Desert Planet Discs. Your musical journey through the space lanes with your hosts, Carl Bayless and Greg Robertson.
The hottest tunes this side of Mos Eisley. Happy!
Get the latest news, interviews, reviews, and much more on Making Tracks with your hosts, Mark Newbold and Mark Mulcaster.
Like an Ewok battle wagon out of control.
Join hosts Claire Henry and a rotating panel of guest hosts for the podcast that's full of hope. Planet Leia.
I love you.
I know.
It's time to head south with the Fantha from Down Under, Adam O'Brien.
Oh, g'day, mate. How you going?
Start your engines with Paul Naylor and Mark Newbold as they lift the hood on starships, airspeeders, swoops, capital ships, and more from across the cosmos. And for everything in one location, daily news, reviews, interviews, podcasts, video, and social media feeds. Bookmark fanthatracks.com for Star Wars news 24/7, 365.
A little bit on the history there. So, obviously, you're the other side of the pond. So that's going to have thrown itself a few logistical challenges.
Just a tad.
Just a tad. So what can people expect from the event?
So first and foremost, I hope you have a ticket because we're sold out.
Yeah. We have tickets.
We have tickets.
Which, as I said to my team, and I posted, statement made.
Yeah.
We sold out 3 months before Celebration. That's a feather in our cap right off the bat. We appreciate everybody buying a ticket, but it also shows that we are in demand. We're getting known as the event that you want to be at the night before Celebration. Yep. So we feel very honored and humbled by the fact that we sold out. People are already asking if people selling tickets already, and I'm like, wow, people are already trying to scalp our tickets. Okay, cool. We always want to get something that's first off economical because you're going to be spending an inordinate amount of money the rest of the weekend, but something you can do. Yeah. And when we did California, I changed the business model because I wanted to, at least for part of it, include families, because the one argument with any event around Celebration in any capacity is unless you're 21 plus or 18 plus, there is nothing for families to do in the afternoon the day before Celebration at all. They're not going to take their kids to the lobby bar. So that's what we did. So we're going to be 3 to 11, as you mentioned. We're going to have special meet and greets. We're going to have 2 different rooms. So we're taking over the whole Breakfast Club. Now, if you've seen our marketing, it's been utilizing the IP of the Breakfast Club movie in Star Wars elements. So, it lends itself to a marketing journey in my capacity. So we have 2 floors to our disposal. We booked the entire place, which is a stone's throw from the Canary Wharf tube stop where they filmed Rogue One. So you had to go literally to a Star Wars set in order to go to our event.
Yeah.
So that's a selling point.
That's planning. That's planning for you.
Absolutely, because people are going to want to take pictures there anyway. So why not?
Yep.
So we have 2 rooms that we're hosting in. One is a pub type room. The dark wood, old grungy pub look that we're actually calling the Cantina. And we have upstairs that has a stage that we're calling the Sanctuary.
Nice.
So
nice.
Utilizing the Sanctuary from FET, using that as a Cantina. In the Cantina, we're going to have the meet and greets brought to you by Star Wars Autograph News and my partner and good friend Frank Rich.
Great guy.
And also, special unplugged performance by our friend Blues Harvest.
Fantastic.
So that's going on in the afternoon in the Cantina. Then upstairs, we're going to have later in the evening open karaoke and Aldron Idol with our DJ, Level Up Leroy.
Yay!
Friend of the show.
Our brother.
Show.
Yes.
And then 2 very awesome podcasts, live podcasts on the main stage. First with Blob of the Hutt, who's our good friend Gary O'Toole.
Excellent.
Who's, once again, my first friend that I made in Celebration. And then, before Leroy, Fantha Tracks. We're going to have Mark and Matt set up shop and do a good hour podcast leading up to karaoke. So, right then alone, we haven't announced one guest yet that's going to be at Boonta, and we sold out.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
That is round of applause.
For 30 quid, and you get a drink and a swag bag. I mean, that's it for all day event. That's
a great deal.
Pretty good deal.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
and as you say, reflected in the fact that it's sold out. Within 3 days of the tickets going on sale.
Yeah, literally
2-3 days.
We were 75 sold out day 1.
Yeah.
Right.
So.
Yeah. So a big thank you from both us and yourself to everybody that's bought tickets, because supporting these kind of events is the only way that they continue and grow. People such as yourselves get the motivation, if you like, to keep doing them and keep trying to make them better and deliver quality entertainment for fans around the events. As you say, there's so much going on at Celebration, but the fringes, the evenings when people want to get together, and as everybody's arriving, Boonta Eve is there. It's a great place to hook up. We're doing exactly that with the Fantha Tracks crew. As you say, Mark and Matt are podcasting, but I know most of the team that will be there, certainly for the first day, we're all coming down. So, expect mayhem.
It's absolutely fantastic. I'm beyond excited about it in so many capacities, and it just keeps on getting better. When the opportunity for Blues Harvest hit, we're like, yeah. Like, no, we're going to say no. And then, obviously, getting to work with Matt and Mark, which is a complete honor in itself for us. Because, I still consider us that little indie group, really. I know we're the biggest, fan group in the world, but I still consider us, small potatoes when it comes to it. But when we are getting, I consider heavy hitters wanting to be part of our event, it kind of it's not just a feather in our cap, but it also makes us realize that how much of an importance we actually have on the fandom around Celebration and in the in-between. I mean, we have, we mentioned earlier the Virtual Cantina Network, where we have podcasts all week long. And last week, we're recording this before you guys air. But last week, we had Brendan Wayne for an hour watching an episode, which is an absolute incredible video. If you go check it out, youtube.com/The Virtual Cantina Network. We got Chris Bartlett next week. We're going to have David Collins in a couple weeks. Hal Hickle's coming back for one of the episodes of FET. We're actually going to have Emily Swallow and Tate Fletcher coming on together.
Oh, wow.
Which we're very, very excited about that. And we are also, I'll make an announcement right now, before Mandalorian 3, we're going to watch the season finale of FET with Brendan Wayne, Barry Lowen, and Lateef Crowley.
Oh,
so three of the four Mandos are going to be joining us. The way we look at what we do is keeping the buzz and the love and the heart of celebration going around year round. So it's not just the con, and you're not thinking, well, I'm just going to MCM or London Film Comic Con. This is a group that's going to feel the love that celebration is like. I say this, my wife says this all the time. Celebration is our WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And the next day is Monday Night Raw, and we got to start playing the next WrestleMania. So we try to keep it going all year round and make it a very positive, environment and community, which is so needed in Star Wars.
Yeah, absolutely. But big division in the fans at times, and it's this. We echo that as well in terms of what we do on the show here with our passion for music and Star Wars music in particular, and giving a voice to different artists from all around the world and celebrating our love of the wars that we wouldn't be here talking if it wasn't for this little movie franchise and TV shows.
That's it.
And I actually have to give a great shout out to a friend of all of our groups, Martin, who encouraged me to come to London, because we were on the fence. I was on the fence whether I was coming over, and Martin was very key, and DJ Elliott as well. You're talking to me personally and saying, you guys need to do this. There's an availability and a want for what you guys do. So it means a lot. And, I'm very also excited about #Cantina. I've heard incredible things. I've watched, all the YouTube footage I could possibly find, because like I said, I like to research stuff. And I got my Kings Road tickets. So I am stoked. And it's just going to be another great celebration. I'm just very, very excited that we're even in the conversation. And that's what I always wanted to be. I mean, I always said, even when I was running my events, that if we're in the conversation of Bash, then we're doing something right. And after Anaheim, we were in the conversation of Bash. So, to be in the conversation with Bash and #Cantina is, like I said, I consider us still fringe. To be in the conversation just, makes us so proud of what we've done.
Absolutely.
Yeah, incredible work. And having been at the Boonta Eve in Anaheim, the people who have tickets, you're going to be spoiled. It's going to be an excellent day. I'm looking forward to it myself. My teenage son's coming for his first Star Wars celebration. Well, technically his second. He was in the womb with my wife at the first Celebration Europe in London back in 2007. So it's going to be a fantastic long weekend. Kicking off at Boonta Eve on the Thursday night. It's going to be a great time. Can't wait. And lots of surprises in store at Boonta Eve and #Cantina. So very excited about both events.
It's going to be great. And did I hear a rumor that your son might opt to try to get into Idol?
I'm trying to get him to. He's a singer as well. I'm trying to persuade him to do it. He's a little bit shy, I think, but I'm sure
give him some blue milk. He'll be fine.
That's it.
I'm sure I can bend his arm. I'm sure I can get him to do something.
Awesome.
Well, thank you very much for your time, Spencer. It's been a pleasure talking to you. If people want to follow what's going on, and if there are people that unfortunately won't be able to make the event and put tickets up for sale, tell our listeners where they can find you and where they can get all the latest details and presumably lots of pictures of what they are missing out on the day. Absolutely. If they don't get tickets.
So there are several Star Wars Celebration fan groups that are out there. Look for the one that has 45,000 members. That was the one you're going to find. That's us, really. That's the indicator. To find us on Instagram, we're at virtual.cantina. On Twitter at Cantina Virtual. And we're actually on Hive as well at Virtual Cantina. And everybody was questioning whether Twitter was going to go out the window. Everybody jumped on the Hive bandwagon. Pretty much, it seemed like the entire Star Wars universe jumped on Hive. Like the first day I set up the account, I'm like, wow, everybody's here already.
You will never find a more wretched hive of scum.
Yeah, exactly. Literally. That's where you can find us. You can also find us on YouTube, the Virtual Cantina Network, which is our podcasting network, which is www.youtube.com/The Virtual Cantina Network. So I just give you all our socials. We'd love to see you there. If you can't be there, we're going to be around all week. We'll be at everybody else's events. I'll probably be hovering around Autograph Hall. I think I spent my entire miserable existence in Chicago. Literally in the Autograph Hall. I think I saw one panel in Chicago, and after I watched the panel, I'm like, I could have done 3 more autographs instead of sitting through this panel. And yes, it was the Phantom Menace panel. I was like, if I'm gonna nothing after the 40th anniversary panel in Orlando is ever going to beat anything else ever. I don't think in Celebration. So I thought Phantom Menace, oh my God, it's gonna be great. Maybe Liam's gonna show up, maybe Natalie's gonna show up, and no. I was like, I could have gotten more autographs. But hope to see all people there. Also, I also want to plug Wednesday night at the Aloft Excel at 8 p.m. We're hosting our not so virtual Cantina bar mixer at the lobby bar, which is basically just show up. There's no entry fee. We call it our laid back, get to know the moderators, the admins of the virtual Cantina, come do some swag trading and have a drink, in the lobby bar the night before Boonta Eve. It gives us a chance because at Boonta, we might stop to say hi, picture, and have a run. That's it. They can't actually get to meet us. So hope to see, if we don't see you at Boonta, we hope to see you at the Aloft the night before. We do have an event page for that as well. And it's just going to be great. And I'm very excited to finally see you guys on your side of the pond. I'm excited because I've not been in London in 32 years. So this is my return back. I got a lot of plans of recanting my childhood from when I grew up in London. So it's going to be great. I'm looking forward to see you guys on your turf.
Can't wait to share a drink with you at Boonta Eve and through the whole weekend.
Indeed.
Oh, yes.
Indeed. Well, so thank you, and may the force be with you, and we'll see you in April.
See you in April.
Away.
Hi, this is Vivian Lyra Blair, and you're listening to Banter Tracks.
there we had a double header, sort of, with our interview with Spencer Jawitz from Boonta Eve and the Virtual Cantina Network. So go and find them on Facebook and join the group, join the chat, stay ahead of all the information. Plus, as Spencer said in the chat, it's now the only way you're going to get in because the event is sold out. So
sold out.
So if there's anybody that's bought tickets that can't attend for one reason or another, then the Facebook group is going to be the only place that those go on resale. So stay tuned to that for more information. Very excited, really looking forward to that. And following that was the Galactic Empire show regulars with their math rock, prog metal, call them what you will, take on the Bad Batch theme, which is brilliant. Although I do have to say that in finding that, I also found their brilliant rendition of the Jurassic Park theme, which I'm shoehorning in here because it's John Williams. But that's brilliant. I love the Jurassic Park soundtrack anyway, but their version of Jurassic Park is also definitely worth checking out. So please go to your streaming music download site of choice, and also if you head over to riserecords.com, Galactic Empire's shop online, they now have their debut album available on vinyl again for the first time in a good few years, with a black and Halloween orange Galaxy edition so coloured splatter type vinyl. If you're a vinyl freak, vinyl collector, then get yourself over to riserecords.com and search for Galactic Empire and find all the lovely, lovely, lovely goodies they have for sale across there.
Lovely, lovely goodies.
But we've already started talking about 2023 without really recapping on the end of 2022, because it was rather busy.
It was quite a crazy finish.
Yes, some of it expected and, shall we say, booked, and some of it was very off the cuff and very last minute. So, covering the last minute-y sort of thing, Greig made an appearance.
I did, yes.
As many of you regular listeners will know, a good friend of the show is bass player from Ash, Mr. Mark Hamilton, who you will be hearing a lot more about very soon. And so Ash was celebrating with a big tour over the last year, their 30 years together. And this culminated with a couple of gigs, one in London for part of the Mean Fiddler organisation's
Subterranea, I think it was the venue.
Part of their sort of celebration of having been in business, and part of Ash's 30 years. And then Ash did a hometown show at the King's Hall in Belfast.
The Ulster Hall in Belfast.
Sorry.
Yeah.
My apologies. Yes, Ulster Hall in Belfast. So big hometown show. They've not played there for years, or not headlined there for years. And so it was a real hometown party. Lots of special guests, the likes of the Undertones, members of Snow Patrol, TV and film actor James Nesbitt, and Greig.
Yes, and me,
and Greig. Yes, rubbing shoulders with the luminary that is Greig. Were all those people, but yes. And not only was it just a gig, this gig was televised by the BBC in Ireland and was available on the interwebs, as you do.
BBC Sounds as well.
BBC Sounds. So tell us a little bit more about your appearance, Greig.
So yes, something we're going to start talking about, and obviously, if you listened to the bonus track we did recently with Mark, Jed, and Martin about hashtag Cantina 2. Yes, I'd already had plans to go. I had my ferry been booked, got a hotel booked, but I did some promo videos about hashtag Cantina 2, dressed as a certain Santa Claus. So the day before, I set off to get the ferry, I got a message from Martin, coming via Mark, because Mark and Martin had met again after the gig they did in London, including another couple of the fanfans were there. Paul and Mark were there as well, I believe, and they'd been discussing my Cantina videos dressed as Santa Claus, and I just got a message saying, "Bring the Santa suit." I was like, okay. So I packed the Santa suit, took that over to Belfast, and on arrival I pinged a message to Mark and said, "That's me in Belfast." He says, "Okay, come to the Ulster Hall about 5. I was like, right, okay, come early. He says, "Go round the back and ask for our tour manager, and he'll get you in." So went to the back door, spoke to the tour manager, got taken backstage, got given backstage access all area passes, and walked into the green room and was like instantly like, "What is going on here?" Opened the doors, Jimmy Nesbitt and like guitars from the Undertones, and just kind of sat down and was like, So eventually we, cut a long story short, I spoke to the band. We went up to discuss the set list and stuff. I got taken into agreeing the set list to make some slight changes. It was like, "Greg, do you want to come on stage during Kung Fu dressed as Santa?" And I was like, "I'll come on the entire gig dressed as Santa if you want me to. Whatever you want, I'll do it." So we agreed I'd come on stage for Kung Fu. And I said, "Do you want me to bust some Kung Fu moves dressed as Santa?" "Yes, do that." So here I come. So it got to the point I was standing backstage. Manager came and grabbed me, ran on stage, and just started busting some Kung Fu moves to Kung Fu in front of a sold-out audience in Ulster Hall.
There we go.
Which was fantastic. And it's up halfway through the Kung Fu moves. Somebody in the front row handed me an inflatable guitar and started busting some guitar solos next to Tim. Mark disappeared out to the audience and started playing in the audience. We did some meditating. It was a great night. And afterwards, Mark had a DJ set after party at a venue close by. My head's gone blank. I can't think of the name of the venue now. But all in all, a great night. Hanging with Martin and Emma, the Martin Keeler, who will get mentioned several times during the show, as always. And a great weekend in Belfast with Ash and, as I say, the Keelers and my buddy Derek Eight Fingers. Yeah, fantastic. A great end to a good year. 2022 was a good year. Good year.
Yes, and it also brings us neatly around to the announcement of #Cantina 2, which, as Greg mentioned there, we were lucky enough to get a chance to sit down with the Martin Keeler, the Mark Hamilton, and the Jed Shepherd, who are the brainchilds behind the original #Cantina, and also #Cantina 2, which is happening on the 9th of April around Celebration at the Indigo 2. So at the O2 venue, the big Millennium Dome as was, in London. So even if you're not going to Celebration, if you're a Star Wars fan, get down there, because it not only will it be a sort of add-on to Celebration, it will be the Star Wars party of the year, without a shadow.
Even if you're not a Star Wars fan, if you're an Ash fan, get yourself down there. If you just like great music, get your bums down there. Or if you just want to have some cool pictures to share with friends, it's the best place to be this year, I think. #Cantina 2.
Yeah, by all accounts, I mean, we don't fully know what the guys have got planned, but from some of the things that they talk about in the special that we've put out there, and from conversations and ideas that we know they're kicking around, it will be the Instagram and TikTok moment of the year, if not many years, for Star Wars fans. So get yourselves tickets. They're really reasonably priced. Having seen this week that Madonna's charging 430 quid for a ticket to her show at the O2.
Yep.
Knock the 400 off, and that's your Cantina ticket price. I think they're £35 and then you get all your venue fees and stuff on top of that. But it still comes in, I think, about 42 quid, and it is going to be, as the last one is, talked about for years to come. So
indeed, there's also tickets, VIP tickets you can get for the King's Row,
yes,
which includes a goodie bag and I think a lot more to come, as they say in the bonus track. So please give that a listen. Go to axs.com and do a search for Cantina or hashtag Cantina, and you'll find the event and be able to get your tickets from there.
Indeed. But one of the announcements that has been made about hashtag Cantina 2 is that it will be the last hot dang. Yes. Mr. Darth Elvis himself has announced he's taking a step back from live performing, and
indeed,
hashtag Cantina 2 will be the Dark King's last live appearance for a while at least.
Yes.
If Lucasfilm or Disney come calling, and we get the option of playing rap parties and things like that, then never say never. But
I think Darth Elvis announced it would be the last public live performance to keep that avenue open.
Yes,
just in case.
That's it. So
indeed, yes, it'll be the last chance to catch Darth Elvis live, possibly ever. As I say, it's never say never, but at the moment it's planned to be the last Darth Elvis live public performance. So get your tickets, come and see me one last time, do my hip swinging and in person.
There you go.
Pelvic thrusts and all that
and kung fu moves and getting slapped in the face by Admiral Akbar and all the many other wonderful moments that happen at a Darth Elvis show. So of course we will still be bringing you Darth Elvis music. He's not retiring from the scene completely. So
indeed,
important that we make that distinction. And in fact, to that end, I believe Darth Elvis and Friends now have a new Bandcamp page.
Indeed they do, yes. Go to Bandcamp, search Darth Elvis or Darth Elvis and Friends. You'll find the Bandcamp, and all the tracks we've recorded for music videos and stuff over the last 2-3 years now are available there to listen and download. And obviously, we just released a new one as well, which we'll come on to shortly, which you can find again on the Bandcamp, but also on YouTube at the youtube.com/Darth Elvis channel.
Yep. But stay tuned to the rest of the show for that one, folks.
But also at the end of last year, obviously, we had Christmas.
We did.
We're currently in January, in the height of all the the sales. Companies trying to get rid of all the excess products. Did you get any Star Wars goodies?
Oh, yes. So Santa was very good to me and bought me several Star Wars items, courtesy of a particular co-host. Thank you very much, sir. I had a set of the Star Wars candles with such intriguing odours as Wookiee, trash compactor, X-wing cockpit. It's just like all the smells that you think, yes. But yes, so thank you very much for that.
Your wife's gonna love me.
Yeah. And had the Star Wars Ultimate Trivia game, which my wife had absolutely no interest in playing on Christmas Day. So me and my daughter had a couple of rounds. Even for a hardened Star Wars nut like me, there were some questions in there that I went, what? How's anybody supposed to know that? So that may well be coming with me to Celebration to bamboozle on late nights and see if everybody can do better than my meagre score, or whether it was just a lack of focus on Christmas Day because I was too busy fretting about my sprouts. as you do. As you do.
Yes.
But around Christmas as well, I also picked myself up the Taschen books. I believe that, if that's the correct way to pronounce it. They do these big, or they've done 2 big sort of books of sort of behind the scenes of the original trilogy and of the prequel trilogy, and then they've done some budget versions which, thinking of the pennies and paying the electricity bill and all that, I went for the budget version. Now, I'd already got the original trilogy one, and towards the end of last year, they released the prequel edition. So I think the big versions are sort of landscape, quite chunky books. These are much more space friendly and wallet friendly. I think they come in I think they're about 20 quid. Might be a little bit less than that at the moment on certain online retailers. So, but they're none the worse for these sort of, I want to say pocket editions, because they are quite small, but they wouldn't fit in a pocket.
Yeah,
but
not a normal pocket.
No.
You'd have to get some extra big pockets to fit it in.
You would.
Excuse me.
Dexter's apron pocket size.
Yeah, that would work.
Yeah,
that would work.
Yeah. So, so picked that up, and yes, as any of you that are collectors of Black Series will know, one of the retailers in the UK, the Sports Direct Group, who also own Game, the computer gaming and sort of memorabilia type store, seem to have picked up rather a lot of Hasbro product, including the Artillery Stormtrooper helmet. Now, as a big fan of Stormtrooper helmets, or Stormtroopers generally, I was quite intrigued by this, because the normal RRP on some of those Black Series helmets, it's crept up a little bit over the last sort of 18 months, 2 years, and they're currently around about the 140 quid mark, give or take, depending on which character it is and things like that. Game, Sports Direct are doing this, if you can find one, the Artillery Stormtrooper helmet from Mando, for 45 quid.
Wowzers.
Yeah. And we've heard from various people within the collecting community and traders that there were some big sales coming up from Hasbro's warehouse, possibly partly down to their own unpredictability in the delivery and scheduling of product arriving into the UK. They've obviously filled up their warehouse, so decided to sell off a lot of stock and to the highest bidder, I think, and Game and ultimately us as customers get to benefit. So there's a bit of an online frenzy at the moment in certainly some of the Black Series collecting groups, where people are running around going, Game store in Fife have got 3 helmets in, and things like that. So I think at the time of recording as well, somebody said they'd just put them back up online. They went online a few weeks ago as like a pre-order thing, and sold out within a couple of days. But they seem to have put them back up on the last couple of days. So you may be lucky if you're looking to snare one of those. That's me. How about yourself?
Well, I also got a lovely Star Wars gift from my co-host here. Some Imperial Stormtrooper beers with a glass and some bar snacks, which is lovely. Polished them off over the Christmas period. I got I got an Tatooine baseball cap from the wife, along with a Andor bag. It's like one of those triangular kind of messenger bags.
Oh.
It's cool. I'll be bringing that down to celebration. What else? I treated myself. Obviously, if we were in video mode just now, you'd be noticing me in my Roosevelt Roper shirt, a bit of a Mandalorian-esque cowboy shirt.
Very smart.
And I also got one of the Christmas shirts. I want to say, is it Some Like It Hoth or something? Or
yes.
Deck the Hoth.
In fact, I think when we were recording the Christmas episode with Santa, it was when they went on sale, and you went a bit quiet for a couple of minutes.
Oh, indeed, yes, that is right. Yeah, I did go quiet as I went to purchase the shirt.
Tap, 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 tap.
So I got a long sleeve one of those. So obviously, I use a kind of collecting service in America and then ship them over here. So I've only just got it. So I won't be able to wear that one really until Christmas this year.
Or celebration, because celebration's like Christmas every day anyway.
Yeah, I suppose I might wear it for celebration, but I got that, and then I treated myself to. It wasn't in a sale so much, but I've realised I've had all these Lego VIP points. I'd never really cashed them in, so I got a voucher and I ordered myself the Inquisitors Lego ship with the 3 Inquisitors and the Obi-Wan Kenobi from the Kenobi show. So that's just above my head as we're recording this podcast.
So if there's a loud crash, you'll know it's landed unexpectedly.
There was some cursing before we started recording when I did pull my chair into my desk and all the little Lego guys came flying off. But yeah, it's looking great. It's things above my head. I've got the N1 Starfighter just above my head. So yeah, good Christmas. I picked up some bargains, as I said, and looking forward to celebration now and bankruptcy.
There we go. Well, as we teased earlier, Greig and Darth Elvis have been very busy, and the fruits of that busyness are now available up on YouTube with a wonderful Rogue One themed video and the latest Darth Elvis parody, which is a version of Rusty Cage by Soundgarden as performed in the wonderful American... Is it the American songwriter or American Songbook?
It's the first album, I think, of the American series. I think it's called American.
Yeah, American Trilogy. Yeah. But the Johnny Cash version, anyway. Johnny Cash version of Soundgarden's Rusty Cage. And this is entitled Death Star Plans.
You took my father and left me with no family all alone. You shot my mom, lighting a fuse, start a rebellion of my own. But I'm gonna steal the Death Star plans and run. I'm gonna steal the Death Star plans and run. Freed from an Imperial prison, I'm taken down by an Imperial droid. I'll take the Rogue Squadron to Edu, find my father Galen or so. But I'm gonna steal the Death Star plans and run. But I'm gonna steal the Death Star plans and run. When Jedi crumbles and fills the sky, like Saw's eyes as he stays and dies. When K2 takes off amidst the storm, and a rebel cause feels the Empire's scorn. I'm gonna steal the Death Star plans and run. I'm gonna steal the Death Star plans and run. I'm gonna steal the Death Star plans and run. I'm gonna steal the Death Star plans and run. And loose, baby.
Okay, that was Death Star Plans, aka a parody of Rusty Cage, written by Soundgarden but as performed by Johnny Cash. by Darth Elvis, which, as Carl rightly mentioned, you can download on Bandcamp, or you can go to YouTube and watch the video. The subtitles are there, so you can sing along to your heart's content. Please like and subscribe to the channel, because there's lots more in store. More recording coming this week, I think, from Darth Elvis. So stay tuned, like and subscribe, and keep up to date with all the news. So, obviously, Darth Elvis had travelled to the planet of Scarif to steal some Death Star plans in that song. But Darth Elvis is not the only one who's been on his travels.
No.
Mr. Carl Mooncat Drums Bayless has been on many excursions recently.
Yes.
Carl, tell us about your recent journeys. What have you been up to?
Right. Well, start of December, we had great fun. A few of us from the Panther team headed down to Wales Comic Con, or up to Wales Comic Con, because it's actually in Telford, which is not in Wales, as we have said and much queried over the years. But Telford International Centre, which is a lovely venue, hosts Wales Comic Con, and so we headed down there largely to report on the show, thanks to the guys at Wales Comic Con, who are very kind and granted us press access. So we get to go in and have a mooch around, speak to some of the traders and artists and sort of friends that we know, and also catch up with some of the Star Wars guests. So Mark will be putting some of those interviews out as part of Making Tracks, and it was nice day out, and we got to speak to shower with gifts Vivian Lyra Blair, who was there. And she's absolutely lovely, and obsessed with Daleks, as we found out. So I'm presuming she's a bit of a Doctor Who fan, but she wandered off at some point and came back with a little remote controlled Dalek, and was just sort of sat at her table playing with that in between signing and meeting fans and chatting. So it was really fun to meet her, and made sure she's actually one of the people who has one of the Darth Elvis with the Princess Leia Mickey Mouse ears buns. So she's now in possession of one of those cards. Yes, as a sort of bit of Leia themed merchandise. So so that was a really good. We went down, I think it was the Sunday, and it was a really good day. A lovely show, and get some really good guests. As I say, I think that was her first UK appearance.
Indeed, yeah.
It was good to see her, and quite a few other sort of Star Wars guests. A lot of the sort of creature performers there as well. So always worth keeping an eye on their website to see who they've got coming down. And they had a lot of the. I know it's not Star Wars, but the I was going to say Stranger Things, and it's not. Strange New Worlds, the Star Trek show. They had a lot of the They had a lot of the cast from that there, including sort of Anson Mount, who plays the Captain Pike. Is it Captain Pike?
Yeah, Captain Pike.
Yeah, and a lot of the other sort of crew, or the lead actors from the show, were there signing. So that was fairly big guests for a show like that. So always, as I say, always worth keeping an eye on who they've got down there. So it's a good little day or weekend out if you're into autographs and meeting some of the stars of some of these shows. But that all paled into insignificance, because just a few days later I was lucky enough to hop over to Florida for a little bit. For a little bit of, I was going to say winter sunshine, but it wasn't actually that sunny while we were out there. So it was warmer than it was over here. But thanks to my own birthday that has a naught on the end of it last year, and my daughter's birthday that has an 8 at the end of it, she turned 18 at the beginning of December, we decided to hop over to Disney, and it's the first time I've actually been to Galaxy's Edge.
Yeah.
And yes, it was every bit as wonderful as I'd been anticipating. And even got to go on Rise of the Resistance, even though it did break down while we were in the queue.
Yeah.
And if that does happen to you folks, it's a bit of a mystery how long you're going to be sort of sat there. But it was a little announcement every so often. And thanks to a friend of the show, the Martin Keeler, he genned me up beforehand. There's various bits of Batuu lingo if you gen up on that before you go, and it's only sort of little things like greetings. If you say bright suns to some of the residents of Batuu, as we will call them, they react to you differently than if you just go morning.
Till the spires
and bright suns and
only the ancients know.
Only the ancients know. Yes. And I was feeling very ancient at that point because we'd spent 3 days walking around Disney, and everything ached. But really, really good. Got to go to Ogre's Cantina, so that was rather good fun.
What beverages did you partake in?
The reservation we got was for sort of late I think it was on the Monday night. I say late. It was sort of 8 o'clock-ish, but the park shuts about 9, half 9, I think. So sadly, it was non-alcoholic cocktails all the way around.
Oh.
But I'm trying to think which ones we had now. I had one that was like it was almost like coffee mixture in it. Not cough mixture.
Oh, okay.
Not cough mixture, but
Coffee,
which was really nice. But yeah, I was sat at the bar just in front of DJ Rex, who was busting some tunes. So obviously been picking up tips from DJ Level Up Leroy, who also was out bringing in the new year in Florida. So good week. Loved Galaxy's Edge. If you do go back on an evening. We were quite lucky, obviously because of the time of year. It got dark around about 5:30 in the evening. So by the time we got back into Galaxy's Edge, the day we were going to the Cantina, it was dark, but the Disney photographers are out in force, and there's a couple of them there with prop lightsabers, so you can get some really nice dark evening shots in doorways and things with you sort of lit up with lightsabers and stuff. So I've got a few of those taken, because we got is it Memory Maker, I think they call it, which is the sort of the photo pass thing for Disney as part of our tickets. So
nice.
You just have to flash your magic band or your entrance card, and they magically appear on the Disney app, and you can download them. So lots and lots and lots of lovely pictures of me doing silly things around Galaxy's Edge, both in the daylight and in the evening. So that was great fun. And got to do both the rides, Smuggler's Run and Rise of the Resistance. So good week. And then came back to the madness of Christmas. Yes, certainly.
I think this is something extra special about going to Batuu at night, with just seeing it lit up and stuff. It's incredible.
Yeah, it's
highly recommend.
Definitely, if you get chance and can go. Obviously, it's still not Galactic Star Cruiser, but it's a little slice of Star Wars. And of course, we got to go back to Star Tours.
Excellent.
While we were over there as well. Although 2 of my favourite things were not Star Warsy, believe it or not.
Oh.
There's a new Guardians of the Galaxy ride at Epcot, which is brilliant. Okay. Really, really good. And that's like, imagine Space Mountain meets the Aerosmith roller coaster.
All right, okay.
So
I've done Space Mountain, but I've never done. I'm not a big roller coaster man myself. But is it in the ball?
It's not. It's not. That's still I want to say sort of like Imagination Earth or something. And there's still like the sort of history of everything, sort of history of knowledge, as it were. But yeah, it's a new bit over. If you've walked into the park and the ball's in front of you, it's sort of off to the left, sort of bit, along with a lot of the sort of spacey type theme things before you go around the big lake, which is all the different countries of the world or areas of the world bits.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was really, really good. And the Avatar land at Animal Kingdom, and
I'd love to do that.
Yeah, the ride that they've got there as well is really, really good. And very similar to another ride that you actually mentioned a while back, which we got to do, which is the soaring.
Oh, it's a soft soaring.
Yeah, yeah. Now, rewinding, I think we'd said something about how if you crossed soaring with the Biomes mini series they did, you could have like a Star Wars themed soaring. And yeah, having now been on the ride, it's like, yeah, that would be absolutely bang on. You could, sort of fly across the sands of Tatooine or through the legs of AT-ATs, and it's kind of like a bit more gentle paced Star Tours.
Yeah, I was thinking you could maybe do that at home somehow. If you made yourself like get a little swing in your living room.
That's it.
And then burn one of those candles I bought you.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You had to recreate soaring at home.
That's it. That's it. Smell of Jawa's robe.
No, I'd love. I'm desperate to go back to Animal Kingdom. I was Animal Kingdom about 8 years ago now, I think it was, because I'm very keen to go to Pandora and do that.
Yeah. The whole of the Pandora land is really, really nicely done.
Sweet.
And as I say, the sort of the main ride is very much like soaring, but just the level of detail. You kind of sat on almost like a bike. And it's like they do the whole thing about Avatar where it's patching you into your avatar, and then you've got these sort of like motion pads sort of just on the inside of your knees as part of this bike, and as the avatar patches through and you're on your I can't think what's the bird thing called in Avatar.
Bird thing.
Yeah, the bird thing. Like you're sat on it and you look through where you see out in front of you, you can see the head of this thing, and then these pads just gently start pushing in and out like the creature is breathing, and you're like sat on it.
Oh wow.
And it's like it's that level of detail. It was like, okay, that's properly next level.
That sounds cool.
So yeah, I say not Star Warsy, but absolutely brilliant.
Excellent, sweet.
And the travels don't stop there, because in just a few short days, as this comes out, there will be a bunch of us heading down to the ever popular Echo Live. They've got lots and lots of guests announced over the last week or so. Lots of Rogue One people, such as Guy Henry's appearing, Paul Casey, a few others, Kenneth Colley, obviously not from Rogue One, but Admiral Piet himself, and just literally hot off the press as we record, they've announced that two of the alumni from Palatoy, the UK toy firm who bought Star Wars to the UK, had the UK production and distribution license for the toys back in the day. They'll be appearing and chatting to people, and apparently doing a presentation as well, which I think Bob Breckin, who's one of the guests, who's the chief production designer for UK, so the UK team are obviously the ones behind such brilliant things as the cardboard Death Star.
Yeah, fantastic.
Which is a lot of collectors' grail pieces because obviously it was made of cardboard, so not many of them have survived intact. But I saw a presentation he did at a previous Echo event, and it's just enthralling seeing how the history of the company that became Palatoy, and how they sort of took a chance when a lot of the big toy companies wouldn't. A lot of the documentaries and stuff you see on Netflix and things, the toys that made us and all these sort of things, focus primarily on Kenner, in the US toy production. So this is a really, really nice way to find out and see the UK side of things. So we shall be heading there 4th of February in Redditch. So if you're in the UK, if you've not been to Echo before, you can get in for free after 10 a.m. There is an early bird pass as well, although I think they may have sold out of those, or at least taken them off sale now. But check out the many articles that have gone up on Fantha, and there's all the links in there to the Echo site and the Facebook group, so you'll be able to find out all the information on the tickets. And if you are interested in getting an early bird pass and trying to steal a little bit of a march on some of your collecting colleagues, then but it's a brilliant show, and really looking forward to heading down to that one in a couple of weeks.
Excellent. So on the next show, get the update on how Carl and the team got on at Echo Live.
Indeed. And see how much money I didn't spend.
Yes, well, saving for a celebration. And
yes, got to get my Darth Elvis merch at Cantina.
Oh, exactly. I'm sure we can sort you out with some Darth Elvis merch. So that brings us to an end of another show.
Oh, and there we go.
But cue the Incredible Hulk end credits.
Indeed. Well, not quite the Incredible Hulk end credits music, but the end credit music from Andor Episode 7. And this is a cover of the Niamos and Molana 1 nightclub version of the Andor Episode 7 credits, which has come to our attention via Jeremy Brauns Music on YouTube. And we got in touch with Jeremy, and he very kindly agreed to allow us to play this on the show. So big shout out to Jeremy. Go and check him out. Let's say Jeremy Brauns, Brauns music on YouTube. He's got links there to his Patreon. You can also find him on Spotify and on Instagram. So go and check him out. Check out some of the stuff he's done. There's lots of stuff, not just Star Wars, but reworkings of some brilliant themes. And tell him we sent you. So so keep an eye out for us around and about over the next few weeks. Keep an eye out for the show that will be coming out on February the 7th as part of Star Wars Podcast Day for 2023. And until next time, it's a hot dang from me.
And it's a hot dang from him.
Hot dang!
Thanks for listening to Desert Planet Discs. If you want to stay part of the action and up to date on all the latest Star Wars news, check out the Banter Tracks app via the App Store on your mobile device.
You can contact us via email at radio@fantatracks.com. Comment, like and share on any of our social media feeds at Fantatracks, and be sure to subscribe. Leave a review, preferably a 5-star one, on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, or your podcatcher or smart speaker of choice.
Don't forget to head to fantatracks.com/radio, home of Fantatracks Radio, and follow us on our social media feeds at Fantatracks, and bookmark fantatracks.com for all the latest in Star Wars news.
Come back soon. I'll be waiting.
Coming up next on Fantatracks Radio, it's Making Tracks.